Hey there, welcome to episode 17, the Mixing Basics episode. This is where we start mixing, and we're going to start out by setting up a mix session in Studio One, which is where we have recorded For What It's Worth, our song that we've been working on here for a while. Going to get all our plugins put together, get our signal flow happening, get some reverb set up, do some dynamic automation moves. It's going to be very good. Need you to hang in there with me, though, because more than likely this is going to be a 3-part episode, so please stick with me on this. It's very informative. Let's get going. Okay, last we left our song, we had what we're looking at here. Kick, snare track, these are all audio tracks. I got no virtual instrument tracks here. We have some percussion tracks and some claps that we have here. Then we got our bass guitar track and our lead guitar track, our acoustic guitar track, a 12-string guitar track that I put in, lead vocal track, that's a comp, and then we have our harmony vocal tracks. We have a couple of harmony parts in there that sing along with the lead vocal, chorus harmony parts, and then some oohs. And that's all the elements we've got. So that's all we've got to mix together. So what do you do to get a mix started? Well, what I do is I set up a signal path that I can manage, and that's what we're going to do. So let's get started in doing that. There's 2 basic pages you work with when you're mixing in a DAW. One is the sequencer page, which we're looking at right now, and then the other page is the mixer page. I like to get it to where it's expanded out, where it fills the page, and I can see everything at once. I typically do not like to look at the names. I rather just look at the what I call blobs, where the audio lives. Gives me a better idea. The names kind of get in the way. The names are great when I'm working and tracking. At the top, I've already set up markers. Markers are great because you can navigate quickly, as you can see, from one marker to the next. You can, if you want to go to the chorus, first chorus, you want to go to the second chorus, it's just a simple key click. So having markers set up is very smart. All right, signal path. Signal path occurs in the mixer, and here we are in the mixer. Now, what a smart thing to do is to set up buses. And I've mentioned buses in earlier episodes. Buses are where you can send multiple channels to be grouped together, mixing together to go out one output that ultimately goes to the main output. So let's do that. We'll start with the drums, which is the kick and the snare, and we're going to add the claps in there because the claps are part of the drums. It's all part of the percussion track. So a quick way of doing this is we highlight these guys, okay? And in this particular software, we right-click, add bus for selected channels. Now, where the heck's the bus? Oh, here it is over here. I like all my buses to be one color. That way I can get to them quickly and see them. I like my buses to be yellow. And then we name that bus down at the bottom. We're going to call it drum bus. Go ahead and just be obvious with it, because that comes in handy later. Being obvious is a good thing. Now, even though there's only one channel that has bass, we're going to create a bass bus. We're not combining it with anything else, but there's a reason for doing that. And you'll see in the long run. So we're going to add a bus for the selected channel. It adds it. It's going to be yellow because all buses are yellow, and we're going to label it bass bus. Organization is very important when you're mixing. Okay, the next thing we have the guitars. Now, there's a lead guitar, and then there's 2 tracks that are acoustic guitars. So I'm going to create two buses. One bus will be for the lead guitar, and one bus will be for the acoustic guitars. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight the lead guitar track, but I also know that I've got some reverb on that lead guitar, okay? Let's find that reverb. It's called UADE. This is when I was tracking earlier. It's the only effects track we got. We got to see it. It's hidden. There it is. We're going to call this lead EGT verb. And by labeling it that, it labels, not only does it label the return, it labels the send, okay? This was something we set up in many episodes ago. I'm just trying to get things labeled so I can see things easily. Now I know that I want this verb and this guitar going out the lead guitar bus. So I highlight both of those and I add a bus. Okay, we have a new bus, and this is, I'm just going to call this lead guitar bus. We make it yellow, lead guitar bus. Bang. Now we're going to have the acoustic guitar bus. Acoustic guitars aren't hitting anything yet. If we do hit a reverb with them, then we'll take care of that then. So right now I'm just going to add a bus for this, for selected channels. Turn it yellow. You get the idea. There's repetitive stuff going on here. AGT bus. AGT stands for acoustic guitar in my vernacular. That's how I keep organized. All right then. Now we get into vocals. Okay. We've got a lead vocal and a harmony vocal. I'm going to put those two guys out of the same bus. I'm going to create a bus for those guys. Add bus for selected channels. Make it yellow. Lead voc bus. All right. Now we're going to have a harmony bus. There's our harmonies. Add a bus. Chorus harmony. CH harm bus. Bang. Make it yellow. It's almost like we got more buses than we got tracks. Anyway, you'll see why this is smart. Then we have our oo bus. We could put that in with the choruses. I think we'll do that. I think we will. We're going to add these guys. Hello. Highlight these tracks. We're going to add these guys into the bus. So now we've already created the bus, so we want that to go to the chorus harmony bus right here. You notice that up here at the top we have, this is the input and output. We can select, it's going to the main output now. Well, look, it's listing all our buses here. Chorus harmony bus. We do that, it automatically changes this to go to that bus. So we have 8 tracks going to the chorus harmony bus now. Pretty cool. Awesome. So now if we go through and look at all of our tracks, the outputs, we want to make sure that the only thing that is going to the main output is the buses that are all yellow. See? Drum bus. Why is the drum bus going to the claps bus? I don't think I want that. Do I have a claps bus? Maybe I do, and I'm unaware of it. I do. There it is. Claps bus. Well, silly me. Tell you what we're going to do. The drum bus is going to go to the main out, and we're going to get rid of this claps bus here. Remove. That was from an earlier iteration of work. Don't like that. Okay, here we go. So here's all our elements on our board, on our mixing console. Output, input. No input, output, drum bus. Kick, snare, and claps, 6 tracks of claps, all going to the drum bus. The bass, going to the bass bus. That's what I want. Lead guitar, going to the lead guitar bus. 12-string acoustic guitar, two separate tracks going to the acoustic guitar bus. Lead vocal, verse, and lead vocal harmony going to the lead vocal bus. Perfect. We all know that our chorus harmony and our oohs are going to the same bus. They're all going to the chorus harmony bus. We see that right there. And then our lead electric guitar reverb, it's going to the lead guitar bus. That's where we want it to go. So we have our drum bus, bass bus, lead guitar bus, acoustic guitar bus, lead vocal bus, and chorus harmony bus. And these are the buses that head out to the main output, and that's what we hear. And if you look up at the top, just like you have inputs and outputs, you have inputs and outputs on the buses. So when you click on a bus, it tells you, oh, these are the channels that are coming into this bus. And it gives you a list. Bass bus, we know there's only one, it's just the bass, and boom, there it is. Okay, lead guitar, we know we got lead guitar and the verb. So that you have a list of what's coming in to each bus. And we know they got a bunch of stuff coming into this one, right? We got all those chorus parts and all those ooh parts. And they're coming in here. So there we are. We've established some signal path now. We've got some organization going. So we know that we can, if we mute buses or solo buses, we can hear certain things easily. So how do you get a mix started after you've gotten organized with your signal path? Well, I usually have already kind of gotten a mix underway just by working on the song, but we're going to pretend that this song's just been dumped in our lap and we got to mix it from scratch. Never heard it before, which is what happened to me all the time as a professional mixer. Someone throws something in front of you and go, mix this, please. So you'd have to, oh, what do we got? Okay, so starting from scratch, here's what I typically would do. All right, so I'll take the screen here and get it to where I can see things. First thing I do is I pull down faders. Get all these audio faders down out of the way. You see the screen changing. You see me yanking them down here. Just pull them down out of the way. How you doing? Pull them down out of the way. The faders I do not pull down are these right here, because these are the buses. You always want to leave those at 0, nominal. Leave those alone. We're not going to be moving those faders unless it's absolutely necessary. And effects returns, we're not going to move those faders. Then we're going to loop the song. We'll just set up a loop all the way to the end here. So I know most of you guys don't have a hardware controller with faders on it like I do, but I'm going to use this because it's going to speed things up, and I'll narrate my fader moves so you'll have a better understanding as I go. And we'll hit our loop button and hit play. Now we start pulling faders up. Over here, let's hit stop real quick. Over here, this is the peak amplitude coming out of the main bus. When you start pulling things up, you're going to want this peak amplitude. You're going to want this peak amplitude to be between -10 and -7, somewhere in there, okay, to give yourself headroom. Okay, so I'm going to look over at my peak amplitude with the kick and the snare, trying to get it around -10, -9, somewhere in there. Then I adjust the speakers to get the speakers at the right volume. So as I pull things up, the speakers are already going to be in the area I want them. Adjusting the speakers again now that I've gotten things in, going, okay, this is about the right thing on the speakers, I think. I'm adjusting it again. So at this point, when you're starting to hear things and you're getting the peak amplitude is right, make a determination of the volume of your speakers and make sure that they're at a level where they're not too loud or too soft. They, 3 bears. They got to be just right. So you're mixing. You're not going to be finding yourself wanting to push things up. Oh, wait a second, my amplitude's too low or whatever. Just make sure that your peak amplitude that's in the right place now, and your speakers, the sound pressure feels about right. All right, I just get the acoustic guitar up and the lead guitar up against the bass and the drums. Looking for the lead vocal here.
Exactly clear. There's a man with a gun over there telling me.
Probably got that lead vocal too low on purpose right there.
Think it's time we stop. Children, what's that sound? Everybody look what's going down. That is right. If everybody
I'm gonna look for the acoustic guitar. 12 string. There it is. There's the 12 string. I just brought that up.
Getting so much resistance from behind. Think it's time we stop. what's going down.
I'm going to bring up the oohs now. I know they're coming.
What a field day for the heat. 1,000 people in the street singing line, men come and take you away. Think it's time we stop. Children, what's that sound? Everybody look what's going down. Stop. Hey, what's that sound?
Right there, I'm working on the blend of the background vocals, more than likely.
What's that sound? Everybody look what's going down.
I'm going to go back to the top. And now I'll probably bring these lead vocals up a little bit, because I think I've got the rest of it kind of put together.
Something happening here. What it is ain't exactly clear. There's a man with a gun over there.
So I'm just listening and tweaking as I go,
I got to beware.
just reacting to it.
Think it's time we stop. Children, what's that sound? Everybody look what's going down. This battle lines being drawn. Nobody's right if everybody's wrong. Young people speaking their
Okay, now, in one pass if you can, just try and bring up all the faders of all the elements and get a basic mix where it sounds like a piece of music. There's 100 things that need to change, granted, but the worst thing you can do is just pull up one thing and solo it and start twirling knobs on that one thing. Bring up all your faders, get a basic mix, try and understand what you got in front of you. You'll be hearing all sorts of things you're gonna want to do, but you don't try and go after each one of those things as you hear those things. Listen to the elements that you've got, listen to how they blend together, and you'll start to realize, oh, I know what I needed to do. That's what you want to do right out of the chute, is just get a basic blend that works, and that when you hit play, if we look over here, we see that our peaks are in the right area between -5 and -10. And I've got the speakers where they're at a level that's working for me, that, is not too loud, not too soft. So, my ears aren't going to get tired, and it's a level that I might listen to the song just listening to it, But get it all up and hear it. Very important. All right, that's the end of part 1. In part 2, we get our inserts and our sends set up, and we start refining the mix. If you haven't already done so, please subscribe and continue watching the Home Studio Basics course here on Record, Mix, Repeat. I'm your host, Rusty Smith. Thanks a lot.